All right. Hopefully we are all systems go. Maybe somebody in chat will be kind enough to let me know whether or not the music is good, the mic is working, all those standard things. That's really kind of hard to check from my end. All right. So I'm starting to do weekly streams. So hopefully, I'm starting to do weekly streams like this. And then my overall goal is in my Discord, I'm organizing a live play game with some of my audience members. So every other Friday, we are going to be playing D&D live on stream with, folks like you. Some of the folks in Discord are probably watching this right now. So what I want to do is sort of plot something out. My goal is I want to make an episodic campaign where each individual session is sort of like a self-contained adventure. A series of linked one-shots that sort of tell an overarching story. I think that'll be good both for my own, lifestyle, sort of being able to jump in and out of a campaign, and for YouTube and stream, right? Like, folks can just check out one video on YouTube, they'll get a self-contained adventure, but if folks want to, they can watch the whole thing, sort of get in a bigger story. Lots of echo. Okay. Let me try to figure something out right here. Try to think I can fix that. All right, is this... Oh, there we go. Is this any better now? I think there were two mics going. This probably should have fixed that echo. Let me, please let me know, chat, if this is better for you folks. All right. So, first off, I think the big thing is I have inspiration, right? I read this fantastic book right here called Killers of the King. And it is about what happened after the English Civil War. The English Civil War happened in like the 1600s, and the parliamentarians fought the royalists, right? If you go way back to the roots of D&D, it's the same thing as the Cavaliers versus the Roundheads. So, and at the end of it, the parliamentarians, they captured the king and they chopped off his head. And then later on, everyone in England was like, "Oh no, we chopped off his head. That was a bad idea." And so they restored the monarchy, and then the new monarch, the king's kid, Charles II, what he did is he hunted down all those bastards who killed his dad. And that's what this book is about. It's the story of like a bunch of bounty hunters going all across Europe, finding these people and either killing them on the spot or dragging them back to be hanged, drawn, and quartered. Fantastic. The story of like intrigue, action, adventure, betrayal, all sorts of really cool stuff, really great fodder material. And so there's another layer to it too. And in part, the English Civil War was also a religious conflict. There are like radical Puritan, or they weren't really called Puritans at the time, but what became Puritans in America, these sort of radical Protestant elements. There was the Irish Catholics who were sort of being repressed by the English monarchy. There were the Church of Scotland also wanted to get involved. So all sorts of competing factions, and also this sort of religious element to it, based on what people were believing with their faith. So again, that's a really good, rich material. So that is my big premise right here. The king is dead. He was killed by radicals. And now you have to hunt them down. So every session, every episode of this campaign is going to be just that. Finding one of these baddies who killed the king, and you're going to go get them. And so you can already see like sort of like different objectives you could have. So we'll start a second column over here with just like really loose ideas. Thank you, everybody. David, D&D Digest. It's all good. I've been watching a few of your live plays, by the way. Like not consistently, but I've been every time they pop up on my feed, I watch them for a few minutes. I really like what you're doing. So some ideas that we can have right here, right? Is that you have to get information to hunt the target. So you can have an intrigue adventure. Intrigue. Ooh, that's a hard word to spell. And I'm not a very good speller. As everyone who watches these streams know. Whatever. I know what it means. Another idea is that this person could be in a fortress. Target in a fortress. And you have to sort of like break down like old style, right? Or one thing they could be hiding in sort of like a pirate area. And so you have a swashbuckling adventure in order to go get them. You can have goals where you have to bring them back alive. Gather evidence. You can have ones where they have to convince them to betray another. All right, so already we're getting lots and lots of... I think you can see how... I think this idea of being like sort of core bounty hunters and going out and getting these targets and bringing them back has lots and lots of rich material. But I wanna keep on adding some layers onto this. I think this is going to be... So another decision I had to make was, if I'm going to be doing this on stream, do I want to set it in like generic Fantasyland, or do I want to set it in my own homebrew setting? And I think I went for my my own homebrew setting because it's something I'm more comfortable with, and I think over the long run it'll be more interesting, and you can sort of form a community around that. If you have something specific that people feel like they can add on to or talk about, I think it's a lot more it's a lot more compelling for a community than generic fantasy. Return stolen family heirlooms. That's not a bad one at all. So that could be like a bonus mission, right? So during the start of the pandemic, I did a Quarren stream. I ran a mega dungeon, Dead and Thay, and it was sort of a collective adventure. The idea is like, okay, you can play these characters repeatedly if you want, or you can start new ones. And it's sort of a Rogue Marches style game, but everyone's in the same dungeon. But it was interrelated because if you did something in one area of the dungeon, it could raise the overall alarm level, or you could open up portals and get keys that could be used by other parties down the line. And something like a retrieve an heirloom, that could be like a boon. And then later on, like some other adventure parties in another episode would receive a boost from doing that. I think that's really, really cool. That's really, really cool. It's like a magic sword, and then you can use it until the end of the adventure. All right. So that's the religious radicals, though. See, in the real-life English Civil War, it was heavily political, but here I want to do a religious element because this is D&D land. The gods are real. Let's have a whole lot of fun with that. So in addition to, here's the other thing, right? Is I want to have another sort of layer in there. So besides this one historical example, I'm also going to draw from a second one. Another thing I've been really interested in recently, reading a lot about is Gnosticism, which was like a 2nd century Christian offshoot, right? Who had all sorts of, what we now consider sort of heterodox ideas, all sorts of heresies, but fascinating stuff. So the premise of in my world, the white church. So I'll just write this down right here. The white church, All Father, the source called good God, like the good one. What people conceive of as, the good God of, justice and peace and all that good stuff, is actual evil. That's the heresy of these religious radicals. Okay. So the Gnostics in real life, I mean, I'm sure there's like a religious scholar expert somewhere in the chat who can correct me if I'm wrong. But my understanding is the Gnostics were pretty much believing that, like the Christian or the Judeo-Christian idea of like the good God who made, humans. Well, that wasn't a good God. That was an evil God, because all flesh and all material things are bad and all spirit things are good. So in order to make a human body, you'd have to corrupt it, right? So the God who made us was actually a stupid, foolish God. Total mistake, right? But Jesus, he was the smart one, right? he figured out that, oh, you can just escape your body, you can ascend back to this pure spirit plane. And so that's sort of the Gnostic heresy, right? That it's actually evil to die is to escape to the pure area. All right. So I think that's pretty cool. Yes. Thank you, Drew, for spelling that out. Are you going to the 17th century level of tech? That is a great question, Aaron. And those, you know what, we'll just jump right into that because you asked. There's one other thing we're going to revisit right here about how this heresy eventually became powerful enough to kill the king and seize control of the government. But we'll get there in a second. Okay. So yeah, let's go with the setting is, what's the name of the setting? Mare Lorraine. So yeah, this is fantasy Renaissance area. So the way I have my world set up is each like major city is its own like flavor of fantasy. So we just got done with like fantasy Viking land, and for a while we visited, fantasy Japan area, fantasy feudal Japan. But Mare Lorraine is the so-called, the capital of the world or whatever, and it's fantasy Renaissance. It's fantasy, Venice and 7th century England. I'm not sure if I want to include firearms yet. I might leave that an open question. Probably not. But that's okay. But that means that there are lots of active churches. The 5 churches are here. Here. But the white church is going to be in shambles, right? Because if this heresy just overtook the government enough to kill the king, that means that they were powerful enough to really sort of disrupt their order. Warforged, the embodiment of evil, worse than undead. I don't really used Warforged in my setting. Not that the players are not allowed to use them. I just don't have really a place for them. White Church is in disarray. All right. How about a compass? A big milestone invention. Oh, that's not bad. Or, ooh, okay. I like the idea of having a big milestone invention. Printing press might not be a bad one. So here's why I'm saying no to the compass. So like I said, there's not really a place for the Warforged in my setting, but I would allow my place to do it. So what I do is I have everything take place on one continent in my world, and I say there's this other continent over the seas. And that's where, if you want to play something that doesn't really fit in my setting, I just say that you're from there. And if I say that you invent the compass, then I'm opening up players to go, let's go to this place across the seas. It sort of just breaks the fiction. A religious disagreement over the invention of it? Yeah. Okay. That's a good one, right? So the Red Church, which is the Church of the Dwarves, they invented firearms, right? So the City of the Dwarves, like I said, is sort of the Afro-funk fantasy setting, right? It's like steampunk, but also like Afro-tech. And it's run by the dwarves, and so they would have firearms, right? And they want to keep it a secret. The Blue Church wants the knowledge spread. That's a great religious conflict right there. They play in the background. That's fantastic. Because the players, they will want something. The players want guns. And so if we have a cleric from either one of those churches, there we go. That works very out. Oh. Okay, so that could play out in the background. Cool. The Christians couldn't use firearms against other Christians or only against Muslims. I don't know if there was actually something historical to that. That's a point for some research. I would love to know the answer to that. So I think printing press is good because that sort of explains why, right? Propaganda. In real life, the age of the English Civil War was the age of the invention of the printing press, and there was massive, massive propaganda, and that really propagated them to Civil War. People were making all sorts of really sort of inflammatory claims about what the other side was doing, sort of making stuff up and just printing it and getting it out there. It was the first time there was mass media. It was the first time humans were exposed to mass media and had a huge effect. In case you can't get where I'm going with this, how did this heresy was able to take over? It's a mind virus. Yeah. I like to put things in my campaign that, sort of reflect the real world too. This is freaking, it's Q, right? But it literally infects people's brains. To believe the heresy. There we go. And I think that's cool. So if you get in contact with their literature, their propaganda, then you risk being infected. I think that's pretty freaking nifty. I think it's abstract enough though it's not like right on the nose because there's a couple layers to it, right? Oh, it doesn't make you believe, whatever. It makes you believe that, the church is actually fake and to die is to escape. And you really believe this so much so that they took over the government. And now that these people are back over again, you have to go for it, right? But eventually my hope is that during the course of the campaign, some of the player characters will contract this and that will cause some tension right there. That'll be cool. Restriction was against crossbows, not firearms. Fascinating. Who is the new leader? The king's son came back. You know what? That's a little too on the nose. Say it's the king's daughter. Yep. Ooh. After a generation? After a decade? No. How many years? Say now. 3 years. His daughter is on the throne. And she wants revenge. Hunt down the killers of the king. I'm going to say the title right there. Okay, beautiful. Excellent. A real reason to burn books. All right, so what are we thinking, chat? Like, how are we feeling about this concept so far? If you were to play on stream with me, would this like something that you would be interested in, like this sort of setting, this sort of these layers of real life sort of translated into fantasy? All right. So I think with this basic idea, I think the next thing I might want to do is either create some main characters, or I might want to create the first mission and then build from there. All right. Thank you, Wayne. Thank you, Firel Third. Oh, that's right. Awesome. Okay. So, all right. You know what? I don't want to build a whole bunch of characters right out front. So I think what I probably end up doing is just going through and then picking like people from real life and sort of like making mirrors from them. So instead, let's build the first session. And then let's build the last session. And then the middle will be discovered. Right? Beginning, middle, and end. And the middle is determined by the players. Okay, so the first session is you're going to be hunting down your first low-level target, right? You know what? Let's do this. How many of them total there should there be? There's 13 of them. "13 killers. Oh, this is all in bold. This is going to make it very hard to read later on. There we go. Sorry, Chad, you have to watch me format these things for a second. Okay. We'll keep this bold. Okay. So hunt down the first 2 of the killers. Okay, and so let's say one has information and you want them alive. One can be dead or alive. One is a low-level lackey, but he signed the death warrant. So, yeah. Warrant. That's not how you spell that word. There we go. So his ass is grass, so to speak. Okay. So where would these 2 people be? Well, if you're starting out at low level, let's say you start at 3rd level. And there's 13 of them. That'll probably be about 8 sessions, I would say. And so 3 plus 8 is, say, 8th level or 11th level. Yeah. There's no need to go down. That makes sense, right? After 11th level, for killing the last killer of the king, the new king makes you lord and you get some land, and your 11th level character, ka-chink. You could almost run it by jumping all over the world, different groups and players. Exactly, Captain Comet. So I'm really gonna have the chance to show off maybe some parts of my setting that we haven't really got to go to before, which will be fun. Okay. Let's move this back up here. Boom. Okay. So who sets you on this mission? Well, it's got to be a servant or an agent of the agent of the new queen. But not a powerful one, right? Because you guys are still low-level characters. And these are nobodies, right? So who might this be? They can say a servant of the sergeant at arms of the Senate. There we go. There we go. That is a reasonable enough person. You're like a bounty hunter. You go to their office with a bunch of other bounty hunters. And this person is briefing you on, okay. So in total, yeah, that totally makes sense. Okay. Okay. And where is this place? Where are you going? Well, I want to sort of start out with this particular episode being sort of emblematic of the whole campaign. So I kind of want you to travel somewhere. Or actually, you know what? No. We're going to do this in reverse order. We're actually going to play it, right? I think during the session, yeah, okay. So you want to travel somewhere. You're going to travel somewhere. And then you're going to get info from agent. And then use info to go to bar where targets are sleeping. Awesome. Okay. And then killer capture. I think that is perfect for I think that is just about perfect for a 3-hour session, right? Because they're going to be killer capture targets, but they have bodyguards. They have bodyguards. All right, so I think how I'm actually going to... Okay, I got an idea of how I'm going to run this. Oh, man, I'm not going to spoil it, but it's cool already in my mind. You know what? Whew. You know what? Screw it, because if you're watching the stream, it's okay. This is only going to ruin the first 5 minutes of the game. No big deal. What I want to do is I'm going to start the session with you kicking down the door to this bar, right? And seeing all the guards in there. And then we're going to cut all the way back to the office, right? We're going to do one of those things. So we're going to start off already assuming that you've got through this part. It's just how you did it, which I think is kind of a cool dynamic. Oh, that's not a bad one. That's actually a really good idea, Dennis. They want this attention, right? This is your goal. Okay. This is your next step up, right? Nobody. You're off on your own, right? The players can make up a story of how they got there. Of why. There we go. See, this is sort of an important buy-in. You have to be in favor of this idea, right? Of why they are going after the killers. The regicides. All right, awesome. Okay. Okay, so how are they going to travel somewhere? Where's the somewhere they're going to travel? Or how much information should I give them straight up, right? So I think the players will know this bit right off the bat. They know the some sort of twisted version of their heresy, right? But they don't know all of it. So that's actually that's probably a good thing to know, right? Because we want some of this idea to be revealed. We want them just to have mostly false ideas, because even these people were subject to the propaganda from their own side. So they will know some of this mind virus, some of those sort of like the Gnostic truth, but not the whole thing. Gnostics. Ooh, so that's something I'm going to have to think about right there. So, why are they going after the regicides? Okay, then where's this place going to go? So, to travel somewhere, let's go by boat. To a small peninsula across the coast. So, or they can go by the trail. This is a good choke point right here, choice point. So monster bigger gets seen. There we go. That is a good choice right there they can make. Cool. Get seen and take longer. that's an interesting question. Should I have a universal calendar for this campaign? I think yes. Definitely yes. Hey Nino Don. How you doing? So what we're doing is we're trying to sort of plot an assassination mission that the players are going on. So this is our first point right here. Oop. Is they can either go by boat or go by the trail to get to the location. That's the first sort of choke point. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, Dennis. I want each player to sort of make up a stake for it, make up their own sort of reason why they want to get involved. But I think that is the required buy-in. You have to be for this cause at the start. At the start, key phrase right there. All right, and get info from the agent. So this is going to be a social / roleplay encounter, or not roleplay, exploration encounter. So you have to find the informant and get him to give a info. Okay. So they have to go to where they thought he was. You have to have a target. You can't just say, okay, we're going to wander over to this other place and then hope someone's there. So you go to where you thought he was, but he's gone. This calls informant Milo. Milo no more. Okay. So how do we get from here to where he actually is? Ooh. Think. So if I have them just gather clues, that's just them rolling dice until they hit the lucky numbers. The stuff we've done so far is just pretty much go over the basic premise. Is that the whole course of the campaign is you're going to be going after specific targets, either killing or capturing them. And this one is your low level one. You're starting out. You know what? I kind of like this idea that you didn't do the investigation ahead of time because you're low level bounty hunters. You made the rookie mistake. Okay. Ooh. And then something. To get to... You find the bar. Kick down the door. Fight the guards. Then fight the bosses. Fight the two regicides. So this is the easy part. All right. But how do we get from here to here? All right, chat. Who has run a lot of sort of like mysteries or intrigue adventures? Okay, so that's to be at least 3 clues. That's one classic rule. Okay. 3 clues to find the bar. 1. There could be specialty beer. That he took home. Only available in a few places. Yeah. Exactly. That's the idea. And it's also going to be flexible because I want to have lots of different audience members like sort of like jump in and out of the campaign. It's organized in the Discord, which is in the chat below. Okay, so they're going to be, let's make 5 clues total. And 3 clues to find the bar. And you know what? I will make up 4 right here, and then the 5th one will be whatever the players imagine on the spot. So I'm sure they'll think of something crazy I didn't think of, and be like, okay, you know what? That's a legitimate way to investigate where either Milo went or where the actual bar is. So specialty beer is going to be in there. Um, he has. Would he have notes? No, but he has religious trinkets that belong to a specific shrine. Right? A white church shrine. Okay. And the shrine is next to the bar, right? Shrine next to bar. Okay. Maybe the low-level target is keen on the barmaids. Oh. Yeah, Milo's with one of the barmaids, right? That's a good one. Barman's clothes are in room 2. So I guess this Milo person, right? Let's back up for a second here. So how do the players know to seek this person out? They just know somewhere, right? Okay. Someone knows Milo. Was with the regicides. He didn't do any real treason. So, but, okay. And so they have reason to believe that this person will be able to lead you to a target, right? All right. And so we'll put this back up here with the sort of introduction. Okay. Awesome. That's the sort of thing that we can let the players sort of discuss on this travel session right here. Haha. Cool. Fantastic. When I was at Origins one year, I played in a game with DM Scotty from the DM's Craft. Fantastic YouTuber, one of my absolute favorites, sort of godfather of the whole minis crafting thing. And we played the Index card RPG by Runehammer. And something that he did was, we had an overland travel scene. He just stopped and was like, okay, while you're spending the 3 hours in your dune buggy driving across the desert, go ahead and talk about what your characters sort of want from each other. He's like, just role play for a second. And that sort of blew my mind. And so I think that's, I'm going to incorporate right there, right? While they are on this travel, they're going to be talking about these sorts of things right here. I'm going to prompt that from them. Okay, barman's clothes are in the room 2. Apron. Too big for Milo. So that's why I paused all the way back to this character. Because they know that this apron and pants are too big for him. And that's another clue about where a meeting place for these people might be. Okay. Another clue. They may just ask around. Yeah, I think because they have to have a reason to be going to this place, right? They can't just be taking a shot in the dark, I feel. I can't just say, okay, you're going to this city, and then find somebody there. Or maybe. That's not, you know what? We could just say, this city was a hotbed for activity, and this was the last place you heard of them. No, I like the idea of having them a specific target, right? Like we're playing on stream, the faster and punchier and the more clear and specific goals the players have, the better it's going to be. Yeah. Ooh. All right. So, how we feeling, chat? Oh man, we got 26 concurrent viewers. That's fantastic, everybody. How experienced are the players? If you want, you could throw in a red herring too. I have a whole script written about red herrings. I assume that my players are going to be experienced because they're fans of my channel. My channel's for like advanced dungeon masters. Although, who knows? Some people might just find me charming. Okay. So you know what? Since I'm at this sort of this posture, I'm trying to think of another clue. Let's go ahead and switch over to this internet window right here, and I'm gonna sort of look around and try to get some inspirations. Well, we got a crown here, some fancy gloves. Ooh, and the studying details. I'm just gonna go ahead and write these things down. Because details like this really sort of help you flare this thing out here. When you're writing, trying to describe things, just having like little bits like this, he's wearing fancy gloves. He's got little cuffs on his boots. Velvety, right? Velvet's a big thing. Velvet with trim tassels. All right. Ooh, this is like a picture of the... So what were some of these regicides looking like? Oh, here we go. This is something that happened, or something that allegedly happened. The actual historicity of it is somewhat in doubt, according to this other book I read about the subject. People claim to have dipped their handkerchiefs in the regicide's blood, or in Charles's blood. So we'll put that in here too. We have a blood-stained handkerchief. Oh, you know what? That can be your clue for Milo. Oh my gosh, there you go. The thing that you have to go on is you have this handkerchief with the king's blood on it. And it's embroidered with Milo's name and the crest of the city. Okay. Awesome. Cool. So you know that he was there, and that he was a big fan of he kept this as a souvenir. Which, again, we can get into a whole conversation about the historicity of this, and if someone was dipping their blood in the handkerchief of the king, they're probably a fan of the king, so they probably meant that he had divine blood, and they wanted a souvenir of that. But this is just way more dramatic. The handkerchief monogrammed. Exactly, Wayne. Big Lacey Collins collars. I hope so. If at least one character doesn't, I'll be very, very, very sad. Okay. So they go to Milo's house, and they're trying to figure out, okay, once we're there, he's not there anymore, but where would this Milo person be? And then they find clues for all these things. I mean, a fourth clue that would lead them to the bar. So we have two things that directly lead to a bar. Like, there's the barman's clothes, and there is specialty beer bottles, right? So we need to find a little bit more obtuse clue. Like, I like this one with it's a trinket to the shrine that's next to the bar. So it's also this Milo person dude. He's a religious fanatic, so he probably went to prayer a lot. If he was part of this cult, he was probably thinking, okay, that all the stuff of the flesh is bad. Okay. Maybe he has. All right, chat, help me out. What's another clue? If we just put something random in here, we could probably link it back to this location somehow. I'm just sort of drawing a blank at the moment. Maybe I just need to. Okay. Sorry about that pause. So what they're going have a symbol like a tabard or something? Yeah, they probably do wear something. We'll invent that. Okay. So he has strips of leather there. Or that he has tanner stains. All over his clothes. He stumbles out of the bar regularly, drunk. And gets the stain on him. You can smell a tannery very easily. Okay. Cool. So we have 4 clues that might sort of lead to where he is. You need 3 of them. Man. I'm not sure if this is actually going to be any fun to play on stream now I'm thinking about this. Maybe this whole stream was a waste. Is investigations like this any good? I think it'll be pretty easy, right? He's on a wanted poster. You know what? That's a good idea for the second session. Because what you're trying to do, the sort of arc of this campaign, is you're trying to eventually get the attention of the Sergeant at Arms. So you can get the better bounties. So we'll throw this up here. Bring back alive, gather evidence. Beat the other cops to the target. That's a great one. That's a great one, Aaron. Thank you for suggesting that. You know what? I don't think this is going to take all that long. Cool. All right. And then on the way there, scouts spot you. Spot you. Are you in disguise? Can you persuade them? Okay. Yeah. Cool. Can you catch them before alerting the bar? Awesome. So I like this. This makes sense, right? You're still in the country where the normal law and the normal power of the crown is. They're not wasting time because these are just low-level lackeys. They're not spending their best troops after them because they're not really important people, but they would still like them either dead or captured. Which is why, because these people are low-level lackeys, that's why they felt comfortable not having to flee and go anywhere else. They're like, oh, they're not after us anyway. But they are. We're going to catch you. You can always have assassins attack. You know what? That's a fantastic idea, Drew. Drew says, assassins attack. Other counter assassins. You are lazy bounty hunters. You left a clue. Yeah. Something happens is probably the most it's probably the best advice period for DMs. Okay, but I think we're off to what I probably might do off stream a little bit, just to not ruin it for everybody, is I'm going to think a little bit more about this difference, about what this this mind virus Gnostic truth actually is, right? And then what it actually is versus what the propaganda that the players know is. Because I think sort of revealing that mystery over the course of the stream will be a little bit, will be fun. But I think this overall premise is cool. Religious radicals killed the king, and they have to go hunt down the regicides. They got seized power through some sort of religious heresy that they got lots of people to believe. And then now it's vengeance time. Lots of cool opportunities for different style missions. And they can all be individual stream episodes, but they're linked together in sort of a coherent story. Awesome. I am super, super happy. All right, everybody in chat, thank you so much for help. Thank you for sticking around and watching this. These streams I'm going to do live every other Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern. You can check out the Discord. It's linked below. And, these streams stay up for 24 hours, and after that, they're on my $1 Patreon. Same thing with this stream. So if you're interested in that, great way to support the channel. And if you have some thoughts, some ideas pop into your head that you just have to share with me about the setting or some ideas for missions, be sure to let me know in the comments below.